Hey gang, John Bacarella here with your Lake St. Clair Fishing Report, brought to you by Sportsmen's Direct. It is Thursday, March 17th, and we are officially in that in-between part of the season right now. Last week, I know a lot of you guys were probably out there with me off of Metro Beach on what was left of that main lake ice down here on the south end, and what a way to end the season, man. It was phenomenal. It was limits of big perch and lots of walleye mixed in for a lot of guys, and it was just a blast. And the ice was still relatively safe at that point, so it was fantastic fishing out there. But a lot has changed since then. We've had a lot more warm weather and a lot of winds, and that lake ice out off of the beach is gone. However, there is a lot of ice blowing around on the lake right now, and we actually had ice blow back in there just a couple of days ago, but it didn't really get thick enough for anybody to get out on. But that's not to say that there aren't guys still on a lot of the canals, because there are still guys on a lot of canals. Even as of yesterday, they were still on that ice behind the little store up at Selfridge, and they're on a lot of the, like in the back of Metro, in the boat basins there, and a lot of the other canals in the area. And there's still actually quite a bit of ice up on the north end of the lake up in Fairhaven. However, I haven't gone up there and shot any video or anything of the guys that are still out there, but I'm sure there probably are some. With it getting up to 70 degrees today and warm rain forecasted, it's I would say that it's really over. But you know, I know some guys are still gonna do it and still gonna get on that ice. But if you do, you know, you're really risking your life right now at this point, because most of that ice is really rotten. So not going to talk about ice fishing down here anymore. I'm sure you can go north and find ice, but the forecast coming up towards the beginning of next week again, it's going to get colder again. We're going to have ups and downs. I mean, it is early spring still, so you're still going to have little periods of cold weather that's probably going to hold on to some of that ice to the north even longer, until maybe the end of the month for some of you guys, still in the northern part of the lower peninsula. So, but down here, everybody is trying to get ready for walleye fishing, and there's a lot of perch fishing going on right now. So a lot of these spots that we were getting, like, think about it, Metro Beach, we were pounding those big perch on that ice. Well, that ice is gone. Guys are catching fish from shore now. So back in Metro and Black Creek, as we lose more and more of that ice going out of that main channel mouth, that's going to get better and better. They're catching perch off of Harley Ensign boat launch down on the end into the Clinton River. They're getting fish in the Clinton River itself. They're catching fish in the spillway, up and down the spillway from Harper down. Now remember, you get special regs now. It's after March 15th, so check your regulations on what you can and what you can't use in that spillway area. We don't need to give the state any more money through violations for hook size and having bobbles and beads and stuff on your line and all that stuff. Check those regulations out if you're going to fish in the spillway. A lot of these canals have got perch in them. Other places up and down the lake, Selfridge boat launch, I think most of that ice should be gone out of there now. Off of that front wall, they catch perch up there as well. And again, in all of these canals and piers in the area, the perch are in tight, they're getting ready to spawn, and they're very accessible. Panfish assassins, any other kind of small minnow-shaped drop shot bait. Obviously, live bait is going to work fine. Drop shot presentations, perch rigs, slip bobbers, those are all great ways to catch perch right now as they're in shallow for spawning. If you can get a small boat in somewhere, most of the ramps are not in this area down here yet. That could change rapidly. Usually Harley Ensign is one of the first ones to go in, but as of right now, it is not in. But I would expect them to be putting them in anytime now, so you guys can get out that way. Otherwise, if you're going to be launching, Harley's probably your best bet in this area, but bring some hip boots, or some tall rubber boots. Two guys, you can launch a fishing boat relatively easy, even without a dock in there, as long as you don't have a lot of high winds. And so just keep an eye on the weather, and you can launch those small craft pretty easy just with some rubber boots and a little bit of caution there at the boat launch. Getting a lot of calls for smallmouth fishing and everything. I mean, yeah, you could go out there and catch smallies right now, but the water temp's 35 degrees today at Belle Isle. So the water is very, very cold. These fish are going to be pretty sluggish, and you know, not optimum time for smallies yet. You're not getting that warm water push out of the canals for the largemouths to stack up at the mouths of the canals, mostly because most of these canals are still frozen. So you're really not going to get a warm water push out of these canals until that ice is gone, and then that sun can start heating up the bottoms of these dark water areas, these canals and marshes and things, to get that warm water push to draw these fish to the mouths of the canals. So that's really not going yet. I know guys are jigging walleyes up in the St. Clair River already. I guess there's a couple of pretty good pods of fish up there, but other than that, you had a lot of barren wasteland in between fish because you got cold water and you still haven't gotten this spawning push of fish yet. I think most of those fish that are up there right now are resident fish that are really schooled up from the winter time. When you're on them big time. I guess guys are launching down in that Marysville area, but if you're gonna launch, folks, you got to remember, only travel upstream this time of the year to fish. If you go downstream and we get a big ice flow that comes in, this is for the Detroit River too. We still have a lot of ice out there on the Canadian side that is going to come down the Detroit River. So if you are launching, you are walleye fishing, make sure wherever you do launch that you only fish upstream of the launch site. The reason why, think about it, the ice is going to come downstream. If you're fishing upstream and you see the ice flow coming, you can travel back down and still get out without having to go through ice. If you get stuck out there, there's some big, thick, heavy ice that's going to be coming down still, unless it gets trapped up there by the wind and just melts. But if we get the wrong wind, that ice is going to come down, you're going to get trapped, and you're not going to be able to get back to your launch site. That goes for the St. Clair River, it goes for the Detroit River, and honestly, it does go for the near shore on the American side here as well, because we still have a lot of ice packs floating around out there, and you could get blocked out of the launch area where you're going. So really pay attention to wind direction and pay attention to staying upstream of wherever your launch site is. Walleye action, I guess, coming from guys casting from shore as well, which should be no great surprise, since we were catching all those walleyes out there underneath the ice just, you know, less than a week ago. So these fish are still in and around the shoreline as well. So if you want to try some nighttime shore casting, just remember, keep everything moving really slow, because the water is really cold. So these fish are not going to be like hyper aggressive at this time, you know, until the water really does warm up. A lot of tackle coming into the store right now. It's changing every day. All the spring stuff is coming in. We did a lot of early orders to try to get the stuff in early for you guys. So Selfridge store right now is only open Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. We've gotten into a bit of a manpower crunch again, but our Metro location or Harrison Township location, however you want to refer to it, is normal hours, business as usual right now. But that Selfridge store, at least temporarily, probably for the next couple of weeks, is going to be a one-man show down there on just Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Sorry about that inconvenience, but these are kind of strange times we're in right now, and manpower is tough to come by. So with all that said, hopefully we will see you in the stores this coming weekend. We've got more warm weather coming, and the bite should pick up for you shore anglers and boat fishermen alike. Both fishing contests are officially over as of right now, and what a season it was. We had some of the biggest perch come in that we've ever seen, and I mean, at least from a weigh standpoint. I think the first year we started the contest, we weren't weighing fish, we were just going by length, and we had a couple of 16s come in that year. But since we've been weighing fish, this is by far the biggest perch we've had come in this year. We had several fish come in that 1.5 to 1 3/4 pound range. We had the biggest fish for our paid contest was over 2 pounds, which is just an absolute beast for Lake St. Clair. And then in our free contest, I think the winning fish was just under 2 pounds, which is still phenomenal. And we've had multiple fish come in between 1.5 pounds and like 1 7/8 pounds. So from a perch standpoint, it was just fantastic. All the rest of the fish species were well represented this year with really healthy big specimens for all the contests. So if you're on that board, if you're one of the winners, you can come in anytime now and pick up your for the free contest. You can pick up your gift certificates. For you guys that were in the paid perch contest, you can come in at any time now and pick up your cash prize. And it was a nice payout this year. It was over $500 for first place. and then down from there. But we almost hit $1,000 this year in the entrance money for that paid perch contest. So it makes for some nice spending cash for you guys that finished in the top 3 for that paid contest. And I mean, we'll look forward to doing it again next year, and maybe we'll even see some bigger fish come in. Hey, if you like this video content and you want to get updated as soon as the next video is out there, hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon, and you'll get notified as soon as the next video is up.